Yeah.
Hassan, are you Christian?
No, atheist.
Okay.
Ex-Muslim atheist.
So if you're an atheist, what's the difference between you and Marx or Stalin? Let's say Stalin. What's the difference between you and Stalin?
Well, atheism is just the non-acceptance of
Okay,
God
but
based on. And I'm explaining. I'm
Stalin.
answering to you. I'm answering to you.
No, no. Okay.
Atheism isn't a dogma. It's just not accepting the God belief. So
Okay.
you can have. And Stalin was a communist, a Marxist. So that's like communism is like a separate religion.
No, he was an atheist as well.
No, I'm saying he was an atheist.
Okay,
he was a communist.
So you said straw man argument.
Like
if I connected you and Stalin just because you shared the same atheist belief, that is like you connecting us with those groups just because we're saying we would believe in the Quran. So your implementation. Hold on. Let me finish. Thank you. So when you talk about implementing the Quran and Sunnah or the Sharia, you then need, if you want to really...
Shut up. Islam is closer to communism than atheism. Communism is a dogma like Islam. It's totalitarian like Islam. Hates freedoms like Islam. Freedom of speech, freedom of conscience, etc. Wants to bring to the world an utopia like Islam. It's got the gulag like Islam has the Sharia police that defend the orthodoxy. It's got cult leaders like Islam, Stalin, Mohammed. You have the same economics. You both hate gays. You have the same propaganda and brainwashing. You don't care about the individual. You make identity politics. The only difference is that communism doesn't subjugate women, and communism is not against science. Only this is the difference. You both seek world domination. Okay, so that is you. Now, what's the connection of communism with atheism? Just because communists were atheists. So what? Atheism hasn't got dogma, so you cannot drive the connection. An atheist can be a Democrat, a communist, a fascist. Okay. Atheism simply means I don't believe in God. What's the connection with communism?
know, if you're not just trying to make strawman arguments and debate here, if you really want to know, you need to ask, what would the Sharia do for women's education, for example? What would the Sharia do for dealing with Ahlul Dhimma, those that are non-Muslim residents? And you will find that the Sharia will guarantee more rights to Ahlul Dhimma, to non-Muslims living under the Sharia, than we as Muslims get in America. I'm not going to talk about the UK, but I can say in America.
In America, Muslims have exactly the same rights as non-Muslims. Exactly. The American Constitution, what's the word? Guys, I have dyslexia. I cannot even speak Greek. Sorry about that. Anyway, okay, the American Constitution defends that. You have the same rights with USA citizens. In Islam, in Sharia, unbelievers are second-class citizens. Their lives are not worth as the lives of Muslims. Okay. Shut up, please. Okay. Then you say why I get excited and angry. Okay. Look what they say. Okay. In Islam, you have human rights. Where did you get that? Where did you get that, my friend? How dare you? Why you said that? Seriously, you will make me now post the references. No, I'm not going to do that. I will simply call you an idiot. Okay, and I won't waste time with an idiot. Just because an idiot says some bullshit, I have to give reference. Ella, shut up. Let's go. Let's continue.
For example, we're not allowed to have more than one wife. Not that I'm trying to. I'm just making a point. And under Sharia, Ahlul Dhimma are allowed to use their own marital laws, right? Here it would be illegal, right? We are not allowed to use our own inheritance laws unless we write it out in a will, meaning that if somebody dies without a will and they go to the court, we cannot use Islamic inheritance law when Ahlul Dhimma would be able to under Sharia law. So don't.
Look how moronic is this guy's argument. He says that in Sharia they have more rights because they will be allowed to have 4 wives. You won't be able to vote though. You won't be able to hear music. You won't be able to speak your mind. You won't be able to think your mind. Guys, imagine Martin Luther King. I have a dream. One day people will have 4 wives. You are a joke.
Under Sharia law. So don't take Islam from Fox News and the media that you watch unless you just don't want to know and you just want to cause the problem. But if you really want to learn, if you're honest.
Islam, this racist, evil political ideology they call a religion, doesn't permit interfaith and cross-race marriages. It allows polygamy, child marriages, arranged marriages. All these things kill love in marriage and further subjugate women. It's got inheritance laws that are discriminatory to women, and the Quran makes mathematical mistakes in these laws. But something is absolutely certain. If someone wants to learn about Islam, never go to Muslim apologists. Muslim apologists are groupies for Islam. They are not objective. Moreover, they are deceptive and incredibly inadequate in reasoning. All the things you don't need from a teacher. Deceptive, biased, inadequate in reasoning. If someone wants to learn about Islam in an objective way, watch David Wood videos, Sam Samoon, Christian Prince, Robert Spencer, Jay Smith, Bill Warner, or Hakikatsu, or Sajid Lipham. There are some Muslims that say the truth about Islam, like Hakikatsu and Sajid.
I do want to learn, so I'm asking.
No, but your method of asking...
Listen, you're trouble causing, mate. Your questions are loaded.
I'm not.
Bro,
if you
you
want
smell it before you even say it. Yeah, as soon as you come out with that question.
Then?
So now tell us about your state. Tell us about where you get your laws from.
Okay.
Your morals from. Where do you get your morals from?
Yeah, where do you get your morals from for your new state?
We
You've got control of carte blanche. What would you do with religious people? Tell us.
Secular humanism is how I would do it.
What does that mean?
People religious
What does that
freedoms.
mean?
What does that mean?
Secularism means the separation of church and state, but it meant reason over superstition, reason over dogma. Okay, secularism comes from ancient Greece. From the time of the first secularist was Epicurus, but it meant a society based on reason. That is secularism.
Okay, thank you for giving me the platform. So humanism is a philosophy where we look towards other humans, science and reason to solve problems. And secular means that people are allowed to express their religious freedoms, but there's like a separation from church and state.
Okay,
Would the secular law supersede the religious law?
Yes.
Why?
Because...
So you'd oppress religious people in your state?
Few minutes ago, you said the Taliban and ISIS don't follow Islamic law. In other words, you admitted you still need humans to interpret divine laws. And often they get it wrong. This is what you admit. The Quran is superstitious apocalyptic half words, is not an in-depth constitution, and it's not clear. Then you have the hadiths, Arab urban myths. You make politics following blindly fallible humans interpreting 7th century Arab urban myths. The chance of Islam being true is 0, but let's imagine Islam was true, just for a mental exercise. Let's say Sharia was the perfect laws for societies. Still, Sharia doesn't evolve and societies evolve. Still, Sharia needs humans to interpret its laws. Still, non-Muslims will not follow Sharia, so you will still have conflicts and social unrest. All that if Sharia was perfect. Now, let's go to reality. Of course, Sharia is a monstrosity. It's the direct opposite of what it needed for a society to thrive. Sharia is such a failure that if you make the diametrical opposite of Sharia in a society, you get the perfect society. In fact, Sharia is the best evidence for theism. Only the devil would have imagined Sharia. If you have a white paper and you try to imagine rules for a society, no human stupidity will get to Sharia. So maybe there is something supernatural going on.
Well, you just said
they would have freedoms. They would have freedoms, but they wouldn't have.
No, you just said secular law would suppress their religious law.
Can I ask you a question, Hassan?
Hi, sure.
So, are you aware of the nuance with regards to the whole issues with freedom? How there are things called positive freedoms and negative freedoms, and how these can overlap and come into conflict with one another?
Of course, there's going to be conflicts of freedoms when you have, when you have laws. Yes, that's part of how you have to compromise when you run a country.
So, this whole notion that there's going to be freedom, what are you going to do when there's two belief systems within a secular society, and one conflicts with another? There's an overlap. There's a tension. One of them has to be compromised. Where's this? Right. So then it's not this blanket statement about necessarily having freedom.
Yusuf Podders now makes the argument of Muhammad Hijab. It's a moronic argument for 10-year-olds, but let's address it. He says that in secular societies we have social contracts. In Islam we also have social contracts. So, social contract, they are the same. Let me explain something. Okay. In USA, let me make an analogy. What they say. In USA, we have warplanes. In Greece, we have warplanes. Warplanes. The same. In Britain, we have cars. In Iraq, we have cars. Cars. What's the difference? Democracies are not anarchy. We also have laws. That doesn't mean it's the same with Sharia. I mean, I need to calm down. I know that. But, Now, the other thing to notice is that these people are now advocating for a theocratic dictatorship. You know that before that happens, there will be wars. Let me just say it. So why are you even discussing that? You think there is a chance that will happen? Islam will rule the world like Nazi Germany and will bring a theocratic dictatorship to the world. I mean, are you serious, my friend? Are you serious? Look, these guys, they want to subjugate the world. They want to enslave the world. Okay? They are dictators. Hitler, Mussolini, Mao Zedong, the other one in North Korea, what's his name? I mean, how about the examples we have? You imbeciles. In the time of ISIS, you dare say that you want to make an Islamic dictatorship? How dumb can you possibly be? In the time of ISIS, couple of years after ISIS, you stand in front of a camera and say with a straight face, we want an Islamic theocratic dictatorship. You didn't even wait half millennia for ISIS to be forgotten. After the next year. My friend, after ISIS, to discuss this matter, you need 1,000 years. After 1,000 years, you can again discuss this matter. 3 years after ISIS, I want a theocratic dictatorship, like nothing happened. Shut up. Few minutes ago, you fucking idiot, you said that Taliban don't know Islam. ISIS didn't know Islam. So, who interpret the religious laws? Humans interpret the religious laws. You just admitted that. So, that's the one thing, that humans interpret the religious laws. Okay, guys, let me calm down. Sorry, but their stupidity in relation with their arrogance outrages me. Okay, it's not just arrogance alone or stupidity alone, it's the combination. So, one thing, that religious laws are interpreted by humans, as it's already admitted. Secondly, religious laws are conjecture. They are not clear, first of all. They are ambiguous, half-apocalyptic words. The Quran says, would you believe? Believe. How can you make a society with half-apocalyptic words? Ambiguous half-apocalyptic words. That's the second. The third thing is, did you ever prove your religion? Did you prove your religion? How we know your religion is true? Religion cannot be proven. It's faith.
You've acknowledged that there are times when there's going to be a conflict.
Of course.
He's basically going to create a Republic of France. He's going to approach religion.
That's retail. I mean, you could, you talk about your religion, but if you imagine there was a religion out there that, married 5-year-olds, then, we'd all think that that's something wrong there. So that's when you need the secular laws to intervene.
So what would be the cutoff age?
Yeah, exactly. Would you allow halal slaughter?
I would have. I know halal slaughter can be done stunned, because I know people who've done that here in the UK. I would ban all unstunned slaughter.
So you wouldn't allow Jews in your state practicing Jews?
I wouldn't allow any unstunned slaughter. So if any,
just so I understand, your secular law will oppress religious freedom.
Religious freedom doesn't mean you can do anything your religion demands. For example, your religion demands to execute gays. Maybe we should allow you to execute gays in Britain because it's your religious freedom. Halal slaughter is a ritual, a blood ritual that brings suffering to animals. So that won't be allowed. You can be crazy as long as your craziness don't affect other people or animal rights.
And there's a funny thing here.
I'm sure a couple of the rabbis that I know would be pretty upset about your secular country. But let me just ask you one question. Would you have capital punishment?
I wouldn't know. If it was my choice, I would. No, I wouldn't.
So it's your choice now.
Well,
this is more of like a Mussolini dictatorship idea.
No, because according to secular humanism, I wouldn't. So.
You made the choice of your own, meaning you didn't put it to vote, you didn't put it to people. So basically, you'd be a dictator. You would.
Ibn Farooq, he said a society based on reason. Did he say that he will be a dictator? Guys, you are not smart. Anytime you feel smart, it's the time to stop talking. You are not smart, my friend. You are dumb in levels of... So anytime you have, now I will be smart. Stop. Don't do it. Relax. Don't do it. Buy a chewing gum. Buy a chewing gum, my friend. Every time you have a bright idea, chew a chewing gum.
You asked me how I would organize it, and I said this is how I would organize it.
That's not organized.
No. But the difference is this: we didn't organize our state based upon our own whims and desire, and our own social conditioning. We did it based upon our belief system.
But Ehsan, you are now taking the place of a creator, first off, and ordaining. You're a taghut. That's what you are. And you're taking the place of a democratic society now as well, because you are basically saying you would implement laws according to what you like, not just set up society, because I asked you about capital punishment. So now, majority of the people in the United States want capital punishment in some states, in some polls.
Capital punishment for serial killers. So it's not equivalent. In one case, they debate the capital punishment for serial killers. In the other case, you debate the capital punishment for changing your mind. Are those equivalent? Okay. We must everybody agree that these people have a problem. Okay, they need a mental institute. So I think at some point we need to stop responding to these people. Let's say some crazy guys in a mental institute, they start debating and say nonsense. The president of Britain will respond. No, he won't. The same concept apply. We will just need to agree that you are mentally challenged. This argument, they are thinking of it 2 years now. Mohammed Hijab made it in a debate about liberalism. And they had 2 years to think about it, and they don't see the problem. In one case, they debate the capital punishment for serial killers, people that kill children and eat them. The other, they debate you changing your mind. And they cannot see the difference. It's equivalent. But not just now, they have 2 years to think about it. And they cannot see anything. Not just that, they see my videos, other people's videos, but imagine them looking at the videos. The next minute, the same thing. Okay, you have a problem here. Okay, no wonder you are Muslim, my friend. No wonder. No wonder you are Muslim. So what's the equivalent, my friend? USA debates whether they should execute serial killers. And even the states with the execution, they make 5 years to execute them. And they wait and the 10-year pass and they debate. Okay, that's equivalent with executing anyone who disagrees with you. It's the same. It's a good argument, eh? You got us. What is Islam is doing that to your head? No one is that dumb. Okay. Islam is corrupting your mind in levels of complete destruction. Nuclear bomb, my friend. Islam in your mind is a nuclear bomb. Done. Everything. Your mind becomes like in the hospital.
So there, you would then come in and say, no, what you wish is so this is exactly where you end up as a dictator, right?
What I would do is I'd still be against it, and I'd protest against it, and I would try and change the law. So that's the thing. I would work.
But you would allow the majority.
You asked me how I would organize.
Would you allow the majority rule?
within reason, that's a democracy. Yes.
So,
What
if
do
the
you mean
majority
within
votes
wait,
for
hold on. You said
non-citizen
within
halal
reason.
slaughter, that'd be okay.
Wait. You said within reason. Who would specify what's reasonable?
The constitution. A democracy cannot elect a dictatorship. A democracy cannot elect against human rights. So we have human rights and some basic intuitive rules that are, how can I say, that are neutral. For example, if a democracy can elect a dictatorship, then it's not democracy. So we have, obviously, you cannot challenge democracy. So obviously, if you can vote against human rights, then there aren't human rights. Human rights are non-negotiable. So that is your answer. Let me explain what is the difference, because you still didn't get it. There are things that are neutral. For example, let's say we have two people, person A and person B. The person A says, I will do whatever I want. The person B says, I do whatever I want. What we do now? Let's all be equal and let's vote. The vote is not the third opinion, it's the neutral opinion. Okay? You claim that democracy is just the opinion of the other person. No, it's the neutral position. We are all equal. Look how they think. They think that I have Sharia, they have their own opinion, democracy, we have two opinions. No, my friend, because our opinion is everyone being equal. It's not an opinion.
There'll be case law, there'll be statute law, there'll be
who would establish those? You're setting up a brand new society. You've got no precedence of case law, bro. Come on, right? So would you say the majority can make up any law they like? Would you allow that type of freedom?
No, because you've asked me how I would do it. I would say it's a secular humanism. So that's how I would do it. So secular humanism
so how would you implement laws?
Declaration of Human Rights. So
who would set up those precedences? When you're setting up a brand new society, now the question comes up: should we have capital punishment or not? Who would decide that?
Is there any difference with the opinion of these 5 people? Or no difference whatsoever? Whatever I say, all equal, whatever I say. I don't see any difference. Individual 1 opinion, individual 2 opinion, individual 3 opinion, individual 4 opinion, individual 5 opinion. Don't see any difference. Now, if the individual 4 who says all equal, you make a dictatorship, then it's not all equal, is it? Okay, study this graph at home for 2 months. Read this graph for 2 months. I know it's difficult for you to grasp it, but try. Read these 5 things for 2 months. Start reading. Take this graph to your professor, to your imam, and read it together. Put it in the computer to help you. Okay, put it in a computer that can help you to analyze this graph. And if you study it for a couple of years, you might understand it. My friend, Islam is the religion of the dumb. If Islam dominates the world, there will be idiocracy. Okay? This is simply the truth. Okay? Islam has completely destroyed your mind. You are dumb, simple. You don't have the ability to think. Okay, you are drowning in arguments 8-year-olds would see through. And it's not in the moment. In the moment, I can also don't think fast. Because the moment I get excited, I also in the moment. But you have years to think of it, my friend. In your case, you cannot see it. You cannot go over it. Okay, that is the effect of Islam in your mind. We cannot allow this mental disease affect humanity. It will send humanity in the Stone Age, my friend. Now you are interacting with Western and you are this level. If all the world becomes Islamic without the interaction, okay, Einstein will be an ISIS warlord. Socrates will be an imam. Okay, the world will go to the dark ages, my friend. That's why we need to protect your children from this mental disease. Okay, I'm helping your children. If what I'm doing now, somebody did that to your parents, now you would have been well here. Okay. So I know that it hurts you, but it's essential for your next generation to have a chance. With this mindset, in this world, you don't have a chance. Thank you very much.